Welcome to the Fantasy Football Prophet Podcast, hosted by Craig Phillips and Jeff Torrey. Visit us at fantasyfootballprophet.com. And now your hosts, Craig and Jeff.
Welcome everyone to the Fantasy Football Prophet Podcast. I'm Craig Phillips, joined as always by Jeff Torrey, and today it's Thursday night, late Thursday night yet. So it's time to react to Thursday night football this week. Broncos, Cardinals. How'd you enjoy that game, Jeff?
Minimally.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. It was over quick. So a couple defensive touchdowns. If you had Emmanuel Sanders, probably liked your night, but I mean, a couple decent ones, but not a terribly great Thursday night game. But so I thought before we get into this quick review of the game, I got a couple listener questions that came in. Might as well help some listeners out here. So first question comes in from Steve. He's just asking a quick question. You start Carlos Hyde or start Tevin Coleman?
Oh, starting
Pretty
off
even.
Yeah, I was going to say, starting off kind of tough right there. If it was me personally, I'm probably going Hyde.
Yeah, me too. I think I'm going to go Hyde there. I mean, Coleman, I don't think Coleman is as good as we all expected him to be when he actually got a shot at the job. He doesn't feel like he's actually that player, and Ito Smith is going to be just as involved probably. So, I mean, Coleman will be a good start, but I'll go Hyde. One more question from Steve. He says, also, do you think James Conner will be okay to start in week 8 after the bye? And I'll just say I don't know.
That's the $1 million question right there. No one really knows. I think
yeah.
I mean,
no one knows.
I guess depending on who's on your bench, I'd probably start him one more game thinking that, this would be the game that they split 50-50. I don't think that Connor will completely lose his spot. So maybe one more game for him. But, I don't know.
Yeah, it's cop out of an answer for both of us, but it's the truth. It's just an impossible thing to know right now. So one more question here from Tyler. You got a trade offer. So he just missed our trade, question show yesterday, so might as well help. He would get Mark Ingram, Tariq Cohen, and Christian Kirk. He would trade away Keenan Allen, Philip Lindsay, and Jermaine Kearse. I think I'll just say after seeing Philip Lindsay again tonight, I probably can't trade him away. I don't know. So basically, I don't even consider the Christian Kirk part and Jermaine Kearse part almost in a way. So let's just go Ingram, Cohen, Keenan Allen, Philip Lindsay, and I want Keenan Allen, Philip Lindsay. I think
that's actually
close.
Very difficult. Yeah,
I don't know what Ingram is yet. I don't.
I mean,
it's hard to say.
Yeah, I mean, I guess we don't know for sure, but more than likely he is similar to what he was last year, which was even if he's not, say he's a top 20 player guaranteed. Last year he was a top 10. After his first game, there's no reason for me to think that finishing the rest of the season, he won't be hovering around there.
Yeah.
So that is pretty difficult. Lindsay is obviously a little safer. We've seen him play all year. We kind of know how he's going to fit in. That's close. I think I would go with the Ingram side, I think.
Okay. All right. Yeah. I mean, it also will depend, too, on if he's trading away Keenan Allen and getting these running backs, who is his other receivers? Who else would he then have to start and not, for not starting Keenan Allen? So that's part of it, too. But it's a fair trade. That's
definitely is.
All right. So Denver, Arizona. So in our league, Denver's D would have scored 32 points tonight. In the way we have our settings here, Jeff. 32. That's pretty decent. Let's see here. In standard and regular ESPN say 33 points tonight for Denver. How about that?
Yeah, that is incredible, first of all. And it looks like in ESPN leagues, at least, 34% of you are very, very happy.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't know what to expect for this game. I thought it'd be closer than this and low scoring. I didn't think the Broncos would come out and do this. But I think the 2 picks for touchdowns in the first quarter kind of changes the whole game. Then you get Emmanuel Sanders throwing a touchdown pass over to Cortland Sutton, and it's just a mess.
Yeah, they couldn't stop anyone from getting to Josh Rosen, and Von Miller looked like offensive coordinator's worst nightmare. it was by the end it just got sad. I mean, how many times they were like forcing them to turn over the ball. I mean, My gosh, you almost wanted to just throw in the towel, man. Take out Josh Rosen. He was only going to get hurt. Hopefully the last drive didn't get him hurt. But it got ugly. It got ugly and relatively quick.
It's going to be ugly for Arizona most of the year, and that makes me worried quite a bit for David Johnson. It's not easy. He's a good player. It's just 14 for 39 today. Because what are you going to do? They don't have anybody else to stop. They just have to stop David Johnson. So, I mean, he scored 7 points in standard, 10 points in PPR. That's just not doing it. So, I mean, really, if you could trade him away yet and get something, the problem is what's his value now? You're not going to get you're not going to get the great return for him. So, man, I don't even know. I wouldn't even know. Is there any scenario where you're advocating trading for him right now? How low would you have to be on the buy low to get him?
Oh, man. I mean, that would be the big question. If I could get him for absolutely nothing, then yeah, I mean, I would take the shot. I don't think that there is a fair trade out there that I would be willing to give. If you can throw a player out there that you're not going to use, especially if it's like a, fourth, fifth wide receiver, then of course. But I mean, I shouldn't even go that far. I mean, maybe you really do need running back help, and you can actually go out and get him. So yeah, I'd be willing to give like a startable wide receiver up.
Or okay, what if there's somebody that's really, really, really just done with David Johnson, can't do this anymore, and they would trade James White for him? Would you trade James White for David Johnson?
No, I wouldn't.
You wouldn't actually change. You wouldn't change. That's crazy. That's crazy.
I wouldn't
think about. I know, but think about what you're saying compared to the beginning of the year. If you knew just 7 weeks ago, you would say at one point you're going to say, no, I would not trade James White to get David Johnson, and David Johnson's not hurt.
No, it's crazy. But it is. It really is that crazy. I mean, I guess that technically they're very similar to one another. But yeah. I believe in New England's offense moving forward way more than I believe in Cardinals. And I think David Johnson has been able to perform, in spite of the Cardinals. And I don't think it's going to get any better for him. I think, and at some point, it's just going to wear him down.
I'll say I probably would trade James White for David Johnson. But, I mean, if anyone's listening to the show for some reason, I don't believe in James White. I don't know why. I can't get myself to you.
Yeah, and we're being very harsh on David Johnson right now.
There's nothing wrong with the player. It's just the team is so bad.
And really, I mean, at the end of the day, in standard, I mean, he was ranked 10th in running backs. Yeah. So he's not by any stretch of the imagination a bad player. We're being a little overcritical on him, but at the same time, I mean, really, do you really think that? I guess where do you think he's going to finish the year?
He'll still be top 15. I think he'll be top 15. So I think he's going to get enough. I mean, shoot, chances are they fire their offensive coordinator and then it changes up and all of a sudden David Johnson gets 30 touches the next game. That could happen. I can definitely see a scenario where that happens. But I still might try. If there's somebody out there willing to give you something of pretty decent value, I might do it.
Yeah, I could see a lot of people overtaking him, to be honest. A lot of people that have already had buys. I mean, you have McCaffrey that's lower than him, Sony Michel that's lower than him. Possibly someone like Carlos Hyde, Joe Mixon, even Philip Lindsay. I mean, there's
would you trade
a lot of guys?
David, would you trade Philip Lindsay to get David Johnson?
Yeah, I might do that.
Would.
Yeah, I would do that.
Yeah, but yeah, Lindsay, another good game tonight, 90 yards and a touchdown. He's definitely the better play than Royce Freeman. Royce Freeman did get a touchdown, made his night worthwhile, but Lindsay's better. He's been better all year.
Yes, and I know that people get angry about that. Neither of them have been bad when they got the ball. Lindsay has just been better and earned more work.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and see, it's a split, 14 carries to 13 carries. They're giving Freeman work. It's just Lindsay does more with it. He just does. He doesn't really get. You would think a player like him seems like a guy who would rack up some catches and stuff, but he's not. He only had one tonight. Not really doing that right now. But Freeman's not going to catch the ball at all, so nothing's going to be there. But I mean, then Emmanuel Sanders, pretty solid game. He's been better than I thought this year. Better than I expected him to be.
Yeah, I think he's probably one of the players that that we didn't hype up enough. I mean, we didn't really know what to make of Emmanuel Sanders coming in. I thought that his stock would obviously jump up because of Case Keenum, but I didn't think it was going to be to this level. I mean, he was 9th coming in wide receivers and standard scoring, and he's only, he's going to jump up more. I'm very, very shocked that he is a top 10 player, and the fact that I think he's safe, even in an offense that I think, will be up and down, but he has been the constant.
I mean, one thing we both started, Case Keenum and Scott Fishbowl this week.
Mm-hmm.
So you would see 45 points on the board for the Broncos. You'd be a lot more excited. But only one touchdown, 161 yards. He just didn't need to do anything tonight.
Yeah, I mean, he stopped throwing relatively early, and Emmanuel Sanders got one of the of the passing touchdowns to my man Sutton, who had another unbelievable grab, but he still only got one catch.
And then Demaryius Thomas, just a 5 for 42, and that's kind of what I've come to expect from Demaryius Thomas.
Yeah, I mean, do you think that? I mean, how many more years do you think Demaryius has? Do you think this is the decline year? This is kind of what it is?
It might be. I mean, it's hard to say for sure because Sanders came back, has had a much better season. So I mean, and Keenum's fine. He's not great, but he's decent enough. But Demaryius is just not doing it, and yeah, it could just be the decline has started, and just you won't ever see that player we saw a few years ago. It happens, but he can sit on your bench. There's no problem benching this guy. You don't have to. I think at this point you just don't start him like you probably have because his name's Demaryius Thomas. I wouldn't feel terribly comfortable with him. He's going to drop in my ranks probably for a while.
Yeah, I mean, no reason to really think that his stats are going to improve greatly for, out of nowhere.
And then even on the Arizona side is the receivers. Like Fitzgerald gets the touchdown, so it made his night worthwhile. But other than that, still only a 4 for 40. Just if that offense is this bad, Fitzgerald's going to be a tough start. And as much as we might think there's some potential with Christian Kirk, it's a bad offense. It's going to be hard to really do much.
Yeah, and I like him, but as I was watching, I mean, really two of his 3 catches came in the fourth quarter, like late.
Yeah.
So he ends up with an okay, stat line, especially for a rookie wide receiver who, looks relatively good when you watch him. But no, I mean, this offense is just not where it needs to be in order to kind of produce any sort of relevant fantasy points. Besides for, David Johnson. He's the only one on here that's really worthwhile. Fitzgerald, maybe you could stream him or something, but even him, I've come to really just distance myself from.
Yeah, and Ricky Seals-Jones, because of the poor offense, doesn't really get a chance to show anything. I don't know if I think he's better than this, but are we ever really going to know? I don't think we are, because Josh Rosen isn't ready yet, but they're going to, he's still going to play all year. He might be in a year or two, but he's just not yet. He doesn't look like he is right now. There's signs, there's flashes of it, but it's a lot of you tell he's a rookie. So it's a rough go of it this year, but yeah, I don't know. That's about all I got for tonight. Kind of a boring game. Got over quick.
Yeah, I got nothing to
add. All right, that'll do it. We'll be back late Sunday night with the reaction to Week 7 games. We'll talk to you guys then.